Yo, what's up, Capricorn? Welcome to the forecast for the month of November 2017. Capricorn, friendships are going to be a big theme in your life throughout the month of November 2017. And the sun is going to be in your area of sociability and friendships all the way up until November 21st. So, up until November 21st, take your work hat off. Go out, have some fun, meet up with some friends. Take your significant other out to your favorite social venue or favorite social hotspot if you have one. Have some fun, peruse social media a little bit, enjoy yourself, do something leisurely. You can be a very stern person, you can be very, attached to what you do professionally, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's actually a really great quality about you, Capricorn. You're an earner, you're a powerful person. Some of you are entrepreneurs, but this month is all about just having some fun and just indulging in your social life a little bit. So, enjoy yourself throughout the month of November 2017, Capricorn. And the sun's going to shift in November 21st. Your energy level is going to come down a bit. You're going to probably need some rest following November 21st. And when the sun shifts into this area of letting go on November 21st, not all of you are going to experience some sort of letting go following this event, but some of you might. And this area has to do with esoteric subjects. So following November 21st, when the sun shifts, potentially some of you getting more into esoteric subjects, potentially some secrets coming up in your life. Those are the main themes for you, Capricorn, for the month of November 2017. Now I'm going to talk about some more specific major astrological events that are set to occur this month and what they mean for you. On November 2nd, Mercury is positively aspecting to retrograding Chiron. R for retrograde, R for release, and it's in your area of communication. Chiron's the asteroid that has to do with us making a big deal out of something when it's really not that big of a deal. So potentially, like I said, R for retrograde, R for release. A planet, when it retrogrades, looks like it's moving backwards. It's not really moving backwards, but it looks like it is. What does that mean astrologically? Potentially, some of you are going to be communicating about something in your friendships or potentially to an audience of some sort, and you might be in the process of releasing an outdated way of communicating. A lot of you sometimes can rule with a bit of an iron fist, so you come across as sort of authoritative, and I think that this aspect has a lot to do with maybe your utilization of diplomacy. So you may feel sort of uncomfortable with the way you're communicating something to your friendships or to an audience on November 2nd, but overall the message is being positively received, and potentially some of you just might be making a bigger deal out of it than it really is. So it sounds like maybe you are being eloquent and you are being articulate in the way you're communicating right around November 2nd, but potentially you don't feel that way. On November 4th, there's a full moon. This one has to do with a change in your love situation. So I'll start off with single Capricorns. If you're a single Capricorn, potentially somebody coming into your life for romance following November 4th. Now, that's not going to happen for all single Capricorns. For other Capricorns, this might resonate as something that has to do with creativity potentially. So if you're a creative Capricorn, something might come to fruition regarding a creative endeavor following November 4th. If you're a Capricorn that's in a romantic alliance, then this could resonate in multiple different ways, positive or negative, depending on what's happening with your situation. Is your love life going great? Then great. There's probably going to be some sort of positive development that occurs following November 4th in your love life. If it's not going so great, well, guess what? I mean, sometimes you're not always meant to be with somebody, Capricorn. I'm not saying Capricorns are all going to break up, but if you are one of the few that does, just know that somebody else who's way better for you is coming down the pike. Now, other Capricorns, maybe you are having a little bit difficult time with your love interest, but you might just hit a bump on the full moon. You go over it and you're good. And like I said, for those Capricorns who are happily coupled up, it can only just get better following November 4th. On November 9th, the sun is aspecting Pluto in your sign, and has to do with you communicating. This has to do with you interacting with your friendships, interacting in your social life, potentially some of you on social media, and it's going really well. Whatever's happening with the areas of your life that I just mentioned, they're going really well on November 9th. Now, potentially there could be more of a profound situation here because Pluto is in your sign and Pluto likes to go deep. So, potentially exchanges that you're having in your friendships and in your social life, they might be more weighty of subjects. So, this is a day where you're not really going to want to have these flittery exchanges. You're not going to have these like trivial exchanges. The connections that you're making with your friendships or on social media potentially are a little bit deeper. If you're a single Capricorn, you might want to look out on social media or somewhere online potentially or somewhere in your friendships for somebody who might have a sultry attraction to you or vice versa. On November 11th, Saturn is aspecting positively to retrograding Uranus. And Saturn is in this area for you that has to do with things that are private and hidden, and Uranus is in the area that has to do with your home and your family life. So potentially some of you are having some sort of closed door exchange with someone in your home life potentially, or it could be a private exchange with somebody who's in your family potentially. But this is a positive aspect overall. And Uranus is retrograding, and like I said, R for retrograde, R for release. Potentially some of you releasing an outdated home life situation. I'm not saying that's going to happen for all of you. And for others of you, like I said, Uranus is the planet of the unexpected. So with Uranus in the mix, potentially something coming up unexpectedly in your family situation. And maybe it's going to require some sort of private exchange. Something unexpectedly coming to a completion regarding your home life. It's going to resonate differently for all Capricorns. On November 13th, Venus is aligning with Jupiter in your area of social media, your area of friendships, your area of technology. So this could be something big regarding any of the aforementioned. Now, if you're a single Capricorn, I would say that you might want to try the online dating thing. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't really that into online dating, but you may want to give it a shot here because Venus is in your area of technology. It has to do with love, your area that has to do with online and technology, and it's aligning with Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of luck. So you might get a stroke of luck regarding, if you are a single Capricorn, maybe you do want to try online dating. Potentially, maybe you could meet somebody nice. I'm not saying you're definitely going to, but you might want to give it a try. Other Capricorns, you might have a big attraction. Jupiter's a big planet. You might have a big attraction for somebody in your friendships, or this could be like an acquaintance. Like we have a lot of people that we know on social media. We have a lot of people that we know on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. They're not necessarily our close friends, but we do know people, and potentially you might know somebody from social media who you have a pretty big attraction for, or vice versa. So you might want to check that out. On November 18th, there's a new moon in your area of friendships, technology, and social media and sociability. So it's going to hit on November 18th, and the 6 months that follow November 18th, potentially new events coming down the pike regarding your social life. So maybe you're going to be going to some new places socially in the 6 months that follow November 18th. Not all of you are going to have new friendships coming into your life in the 6 months that follow November 18th, but some of you will. So that new moon's going to hit on November 18th. The 6 months that follow November 18th, potentially some of you upgrading your technology. Are you ready for the latest and greatest in iPhones? What are you going to do? You're going to get rid of your iPhone 6. Maybe you're going to get like an iPhone 8 or an iPhone X potentially. What happened with 7? Everyone just like skipped right over that. Anyway, but either way, this has to do with your friendships, technology, social media. So potentially some new developments coming up on social media in the 6 months that follow November 18th. On November 22nd, Neptune starts to move forward again. It's been retrograding since June 16th. This is in your area of communication. Now, some of you are great communicators to begin with, but this might have maybe caused some confusion in your communication here and there since June 16th, because Neptune's pretty confusing of a planet. When it goes retrograde, it gets even more confusing. So there might have been a lot of lack of clarity and confusion in some of the stuff that you were trying to communicate about since June 16th, but you're going to be way more eloquent following November 22nd. So if you already are an eloquent person, even through the retrograde in this area, you're going to be even more eloquent following November 22nd. You might even really impress yourself. So look out for that. Neptune, once again, retrogrades where the planet looks like it's going backwards. It's not really going backwards, but it looks like it is. What does that mean astrologically? like I said, potentially some lack of clarity in the area of communication for you since June 16th, but now it's moving forward on November 22nd. So you can expect more clear thinking, more clear. Basically, you're just going to have more clarity when it comes to the way you present yourself from a communication standpoint. And on November 24th, Mercury aspecting retrograding Chiron, you're hitting a little bit of a blip here with your communication because Chiron's actually still retrograding in your area of communication. And like I said, Chiron's the area of sensitivity, so it's aspecting Mercury, which is the planet of communication in this area that's to do with, maybe this is just more, this doesn't really have to do with how you're communicating. I think this is more about what you're communicating about in secret potentially, or potentially this is a closed door conversation that's happening on November 24th. Some of you may be a little bit uncomfortable with whatever's being spoken about, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal because Chiron makes a bigger deal out of things than they need to be. And on November 30th, Pluto in your sign is aspecting the North Node. Now, potentially some of you might be changing direction regarding a shared resource situation, or if it's not a change of direction, potentially it has to do with making adjustments in a shared resource situation. Or some of you could get into a passionate encounter right around November 30th. But I think that's all I have for you this month, Capricorn. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, share, and like. I'm on Instagram, Gregory Furlan Official, Facebook, Gregory Furlan. Make sure to give me a like there. I post daily astrology on Facebook. I post daily astrology on Twitter. Check me out. Have a great month. See you next time.